Hello, welcome to the News Broadcast Daily, and these are following headlines for today.
National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng holds talks with President of the Cambodian National Assembly Heng Samrin. The nation aims for $4.6 billion in wood export value. The Consumer Price Index in Ho Chi Minh City fell 0.57% in July.
National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng and President of the Cambodian National Assembly Heng Samrin held talks in Hanoi on July 22nd after an official welcoming ceremony.
National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng welcomed the official visit to Vietnam by the Cambodian National Assembly President. Hùng described the visit as a meaningful event to mark the Vietnam-Cambodia Friendship Year 2012 and the 45th anniversary of the two countries' diplomatic ties. The two top legislators informed each other of the socio-economic situation in their countries and operations of the two legislative bodies. They agreed to further deepen bilateral cooperation, particularly in external relations, and share experience in lawmaking. The two sides also agreed to promote the role of the National Assembly and deputies in pushing the implementation of side agreements, as well as economic and trade cooperation between the two countries. After the talks, Hùng and Heng Samrin signed an agreement on cooperation between the two national assemblies. The agreement says that it is important and necessary to further strengthen and develop the traditional friendship and cooperation between the two legislative bodies. Their cooperation will contribute to maintaining lasting peace and promoting cooperation and sustainable development in both countries in Southeast Asia, the Asia-Pacific, and the world.
The capital city of Hanoi has put focus on productivity and quality in its development plan for agriculture until 2020. Agriculture is expected to account for 2 and 2.5% in the city's GDP by then.
Under the plan, the city will set up large-scale cultivation areas to meet consumption and export demands. Priority will be given to organic farming of vegetables, flowers, ornamental plants, and fruit trees, while food crop areas will be reduced in order to promote restructuring of farming sector towards higher economic efficiency. At the same time, the plan also underlines the need for development of industrial breeding model outside residential areas. The agricultural sector is set to register an average growth rate of 1.85% a year until 2020.
The nations had set a target of $4.6 billion in wood exports for this year. Exporters are urged to seek new markets in order to achieve this target.
According to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, the total value of Vietnam's wood exports hit $2.3 billion in the first half of 2012, up almost 26% over the same period last year. The European Union and the US are now the main importers of Vietnam's wood. However, Vietnamese exporters expect to face many difficulties in these markets in the time to come, as they have adopted new stricter regulations on origin of imported wood and wood products. Therefore, experts say the industry should look for chances in potential markets in the Asia-Pacific, the Middle East, Africa, and South America, which have high demands for the product. Over the past 6 months, the export value of Vietnamese wood products to China has surged by more than 35%, to the US by over 32%, and Japan 25.5% compared to the same period last year.
The Consumer Price Index in Ho Chi Minh City fell 0.57% in July against the previous month, according to the City Statistics Office.
The drop was attributed to the impacts of recent reduction in gas and petrol retail prices. Prices dropped by between 2 and 3% for the transport and housing and building material sectors. The cost of restaurant service also dropped by 0.57%, in line with falling rice and food prices. Earlier, the Hanoi Statistics Office reported that the capital CPI in July fell 0.29% against the previous month. This was the biggest fall in CPI since the start of this year.
The Vietnam Maritime Department and the Central Province of Khánh Hòa staged a maritime rescue exercise in Nha Trang Bay on July 21st.
The exercise simulated a collision between a foreign cargo ship and a Vietnamese fishing vessel offshore Khánh Hòa province, resulting in a leak on the fishing vessel and a fire on the cargo ship. Several fishermen were assumed to fall into the sea, and some sailors on the cargo ship suffered from injuries and burn. In response to the situation, 3 ships were sent from the Vietnam Maritime Search and Rescue Center to the site, while the Nha Trang Maritime Port Authorities and the Vietnam Naval Academy each dispatched 1 ship. 2 fishing vessels also joined the drill together with medical teams. Apart from sharpening relevant agencies' skills in search and rescue activities, the exercise aimed to raise people's awareness on observing safety regulations at sea. It was also to build up fishermen's trust in rescue capability and support from coastal authorities, in line with the 1979 International Convention on Maritime Search and Rescue.
The Vietnamese flag was raised at the Olympic Park in London on July 21st. The ceremony marked the official participation of the Vietnamese sports delegation to the Summer Olympic Games.
The Vietnamese delegation to the Games includes 18 athletes who will compete in gymnastics, track and field, weightlifting, rowing, judo, fencing, badminton, swimming, shooting, wrestling, and taekwondo. The mayor of the Olympic Village welcomed the Vietnamese participants and said he hopes them to have unforgettable memories at the London Olympic Games. This is the first time I have attended a flag-raising ceremony. It is very impressive. When hearing the artists chanting, "I'm champion," I feel very excited and determined to do my best to get medals for our country. By July 21, 10 Vietnamese athletes had arrived in London, and the remaining ones are expected to come in the next few days. The Olympic opening ceremony will take place on the evening of July 27.
The National Administration of Tourism has designed 4 isles in the Mekong Delta as national tourism sites. One of these isles is the Toi Son Isles in Tiền Giang province, which bears typical characteristics of the countryside in Vietnam's southern region.
Just 10 square kilometers, Toi Son Isle is situated in the middle of Dien River, one of the 2 major branches of Mekong River in Vietnam. Layers after layers of alluvial soil brought by annual floods on the river have created the fertile isle. Orchards are everywhere, making Toi Son a popular ecological destination among tourists. It welcomes over 400,000 visitors each year. Nearly 300,000 of them are foreigners.
Actually, this is my first time to Vietnam. I like to come to Mekong River because when I go to internet, when I surf internet, Mekong River is one of the Vietnamese attraction.
Maybe the most interesting thing is amidst the large orchard, the tourists are able to taste freshly picked fruits and sip over a hot cup of tea while enjoying traditional folk songs. Local farmer Levanson's orchard entertains hundreds of tourists each day. In 27, there were only a few orchards open to visitors, but now there are many. So in order to keep tourists coming, I must try to better the service, such as offering the freshest and tasty fruits. Another draw to tourists is honeybee farms. In order to produce bottles of quality honey, it takes bee farmers a lot of efforts and passion. Visitors to these farms can immerse themselves in the sweet smell of fresh honey, which has a special taste because it comes from flowers blooming in local gardens. Though I stopped by just a few places around here, I find out that they are very hospitable. They showed us a lot of affection and enthusiasm, which are very memorable to any visitor. In addition to honey making, coconut candy facilities also draw hordes of tourists who are free to witness how to make and savor this kind of special candy after it's came out. Ecological tourism activities have eased livelihood pressure on the local farmers who now earn a stable income and settle down their lives. Just nearly 1 hour drive from Ho Chi Minh City, Thới Sơn Ai is likely to become the top green tourist area in the Mekong Delta.
And that comes to the end of the news today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.